external distractions that may be happening. People may come in. It's sometimes easier with our eyes closed to relax a little more. And if you want to begin with just bringing your awareness consciously, simply, effortlessly, into the rhythm of each breath. So you're consciously focusing and aware of the full length of each inward breath, fully present, experiencing the full length of each outward breath. And whenever the mind may be distracted or wander away, bring it back to the breath. Become aware of that rhythm of your breath. Bringing the mind's attention into the breath. Being aware how the breath is helping to relax your body. As you feel the exhalation in your body, be aware of how it is softening and relaxing. And you can scan through your body. You may find you're holding your shoulders up with some tension. Let them soften and relax. Allowing that softening to spread down through your arms, into your hands and fingers. Becoming aware of all the muscles, the skin, the muscles in your face and scalp. And again, with each outward breath, we soften and relax that part of our body. And feel the tension melting away with your breath. Shifting your awareness to your abdomen and stomach muscles. Doing the same thing here, feeling the abdomen rising on the inward breath, softening on the outward breath. Deeper into the rhythm of your breath. Perhaps you're holding tension in your lower back area. Direct attention to that part of your body on the inward breath. And then softening that part of the body with each outward breath, feeling the tension, the pain, the tightness melting away. Now let us bring awareness to our entire body. Feeling on each inward breath how your entire body is expanding gently, and how your entire body is softening with each outward breath. Letting the rhythm of your breath be natural, slow and easy. In a moment, we're going to move our awareness away from our body and bring awareness and focus in our meditation on transcendental sound. So we'll be bringing peace, calmness to the mind, peace, and joy, and satisfaction to our very self, to us, the Atma, the eternal soul. We'll be uniting with the Supreme Soul through transcendental sound. We'll be transported away from the temporary material dimension with all of the problems and worries and concerns which we have, and experience being in that timeless place, that eternal realm of spiritual love. So let us rest ourselves fully in transcendental sound. Immerse your mind and your heart, your very existence, in the transcendental sound of the Gauranga mantra. So we'll be synchronizing our breathing and starting on the third out breath. We immerse ourselves and dive deep into the experience of transcendental sound. Let us inhale together. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling.
Very beautiful. Thank you very much.
Looks like you could invite a couple of friends if you want. I think a few people haven't showed up, so we have some half a dozen.
We got some friends out in the park, yeah?
We have friends everywhere.
Do you want to text Mel? Do you want to text the crew, see if they want to come back? Our set-up crew left to leave more room for people, but there's room for them so they can come back. So we have some time now for yoga wisdom from Radhakrishna Das.
Yeah, maybe just a message for everybody here and for anyone watching online who might want to book in. I'm not sure if we're going to do it here again, are we? At the hall? I'm not sure. But if for some reason you book in and are unable to make it, things come up in life. That's very understandable. But if for some reason you're not going to be able to make it, then if you kind of let, I think there's a way of letting us know. And then there are people who actually wanted to come who we turned down because that we reached in the booking system we'd reached saturation. But then if people don't come, then other people who are on the wait list miss out. So so please keep that in mind going forward to any of these COVID times if you're booking in for some of the programs, even as we go forward in yoga classes and all kind of workshops and things. It's just strange times. All right. So what I thought we'd touch on this afternoon is some very beautiful verses from the Bhagavad Gita that are relevant always, for all time, for all people. Even though the Bhagavad Gita was spoken by Sri Krishna 5,000 years ago, this wisdom that he speaks is eternal. Eternal means it does not have a beginning, and in current times it is relevant, and going through into eternity, the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita, which Krishna speaks, is soothing to our heart, it is encouraging to our life, it gives us hope, so many things. So meditating upon, hearing and meditating, contemplating upon the wisdom that Krishna speaks in the Bhagavad Gita will always have a positive effect upon our existence. So before reading these beautiful verses from Krishna, I'd like to pay my respects to my spiritual teachers and to Krishna. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Iti Namini Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. If you've not actually ever read the Bhagavad Gita, I think most people these days have heard of the Bhagavad Gita, but I'd like to highly recommend that you actually have a copy of the Bhagavad Gita. And I'd like to mention specifically the one which we use and which is an authentic translation and commentary is by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. It's called Bhagavad Gita as it is, because Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada did not try to put any of his own thoughts into this. He's simply passing the wisdom on as Krishna spoke it, and the transcendental commentary upon it is based upon what is known as parampara, or disciplic line of self-realized spiritual masters, and this wisdom is being handed down in this way. So the Bhagavad Gita, you can actually open it at any page and you'll always find something relevant to your life, because we're all going through different things in life, are we not? Right from the very beginning of our life through to wherever we may be on our journey now, there's always something that is questioning, whether it be something like relationships which go belly up, or if our health goes belly up or belly down, or whatever it might be. And mentally, of course, there's, it's always there, but now there is more of a focus on people's, mental well-being. Some people are struggling greatly. Things such as suicide are actually very prevalent in all societies around the world. So it means people are actually struggling. And we're looking for answers. We're looking for solutions. We want to know what our time here on this planet is all about and what is the best use of our time. So here, I want to read this from various chapters of the Bhagavad Gita. I just picked it up today and just leafing through it and looking for some particular inspiration that we could read and speak a little bit about tonight. So here, Krishna is speaking. These are very encouraging words from Krishna. These are very positive words from Krishna for our well-being. Krishna is our ever well-wisher. Krishna is actually always wishing us well and giving us guidance on how we can actually be well. So these quotes are particularly pertaining to fear. To fear. And there's different aspects of fear that every one of us experiences at different times in our life, and maybe we can speak a little bit about that. But the main focus I wanted to have tonight is to hear these beautiful words of Krishna, to actually take them in, to imbibe what Krishna is saying into our life. So here, Krishna says, actually I'll get my glasses. Krishna says, being freed from attachment, fear, and anger, being fully absorbed in me and taking refuge in me, many, many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attained transcendental love for me. If you become conscious of me, you will pass over all of the obstacles of conditional life by my grace. If, however, you do not work in such consciousness, but act through false ego, not hearing me, you will be lost. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the Supreme Lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. For one who is so situated in divine consciousness, the threefold miseries of material existence exist no longer. In such a happy state, one's intelligence soon becomes steady. One who is not in transcendental consciousness can have neither a controlled mind nor steady intelligence, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without peace? In this endeavour meaning spiritual endeavour, spiritual practice, in this endeavour there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous types of fear. So here these are very, very encouraging words by Krishna. And Krishna is speaking directly to us. So there are many, he says here, in this endeavour there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous types of fear. So there are varieties of fear that we experience in life. Are there not? Fear about the future. I mean, there's what could be described as smaller fears, and then larger and overwhelming fears. Small fears might be like, we're fearful of the dark, right? This is a fear that many people have. Might be fearful of swimming at the deep end of a swimming pool. You know, there's all kinds of fears, small and large. And then we move into the larger fears that we might have. And I remember Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami commenting on a verse in the Bhagavad Gita where he says, actually I think I have it here. Yes, here it is. Fear is due to worrying about the future. Fear is based upon worrying about the future. What will happen to me going forward? What will happen to my loved ones, to my family, to my friends? What will happen in my life? We're unsure. We actually, you can go to a fortune teller, but, you can spend 50 or 60 or 70 or 80 or $100 and get your fortune told, but how accurate it is another story. Actually, I remember years ago, it just came to mind, I was at a retreat in an ashram in New Zealand. This was back in the late 1970s. And the person who is now my spiritual teacher, Jagat Guru Siddhaswarupananda, he came to this ashram to give, we had a couple of weeks retreat. Every day meditation, yoga, hearing this yoga wisdom. And I remember one girl asking, like she was 20 something, asking what he thought about the I Ching. You're aware of the I Ching, the I Ching? Different people pronounce it in different ways, the Book of Changes. It's different ways where you try to have some idea about what is going to happen in the future. There's different things you do that, supposedly help you to see into the future and what's going to happen in your life. And I remember he answered something along the lines that he said, so why do you want to know about the Book of Changes, the I Ching? What's your interest in it? He said, I want to know what the future is, what the future holds. And he said, I will read your future here and now for free. Would you like me to do it? And of course she said, yes, please read my future. Because, he's a transcendentalist, a spiritual teacher, thinking, okay, I'm going to meet this person, and I'm going to have this job, and I'm going to move to this country, and I'm going to have these experiences. The different things that one might go to a palm reader or a card reader or something like that for, right? But the answer was a little more profound than that. It was a little bit longer vision of that, and it was a little bit heavy, if I can use that word. Heavy meaning weighty in importance. He said, this is what's going to happen. And I guarantee I have a 100% success rate in telling the future. He said, what's going to happen is, he said, your body is going to age. It's going to become old. You will get some disease and you will die. He said, that's the future. And he said, and then if you don't get your spiritual life together, you don't make spiritual progress a priority in your life, then you may be born again. You may take on another body where you have to go through birth, diseases, old age, and death. And then again take birth in another body and experience birth, diseases, old age, and death. He said this is actually the future of all of us. And this is why the sages, the saints, the saintly people come to free us from this greatest fear of not knowing what our future will be. We plan out our future and we put into action our plan. We're going to do this for this many years, then we're going to have that, then we're going to get this house, and then then we're going to have this job, and then I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a week, and this and that. We're going to travel to Europe for 3 weeks holiday, and this and that, and have whatever it might be. But then life interferes with our plans. Karma also rolls out, and then things, that plan may roll out to some degree, but then there's a point where it's not happening. We start, scratching our head and going, well, that's not exactly what I had planned. So then we also start being a little anxiety about what the future may hold. But these things which he mentioned are guaranteed. If these things don't happen to you, come back and see me and I'll give you your money back. Birth, diseases, old age, death of the body. Now this is all, of course, pertaining to our vehicle which we are wearing. This body which we are temporarily walking around in, which actually is not ourself. So even this idea of birth, diseases, old age, and death have actually nothing to do with you, the spirit soul. They have nothing to do with you whatsoever. So it is due to misidentifying oneself as being this temporary carcass that we are dragging around. Now those of you who are a bit younger, there's not that many young ones here, not young. Most are younger than me, but not like young, like 16, 17. And, because the body is full of so much energy and vitality, relatively speaking, than those of us in older bodies. And, it's hard to relate to this reality, but, that's what I'm experiencing. I was reading another Vedic text in the morning. Madhya Dasi and I have our morning program, our practice of bhakti, meditation, offering to the Supreme, reading of sacred text. And we were reading from what is known, one amazing text called the Srimad Bhagavatam, an amazing spiritual text which was written down 5,000 years ago by the great sage Srila Vyasadeva, known as Veda Vyasa. And there was a description of this person called Vidura, a great saintly person, and he was describing how him and his brother were elderly, and it was time to kind of focus more fully on one's spiritual practice, because the time to leave the body is going to be along soon. But part of the description that he was describing what it's like in old age, and part of the description was the aches and pains of the body and the mind, and also how all the teeth in the mouth become loose. It just really struck me. It was actually quite funny as I was reading it, because this is the stage of life that my body is going through. The teeth, in the beginning you've got no teeth and they start coming out, right, in the baby teeth. And then, we go through life, and then at the end of the life of this body, the teeth start coming out. They're kind of out. They just start falling out now because they become loose and things. So it's the Vedic literatures don't beat around the bush. It's not just all airy-fairy things that have nothing to do with our real existence. They cut to the chase of painting the picture as it actually is. Now, many people don't want to hear this. They consider it to be negative. But actually, it's neither negative nor positive. Like, in the Vedic tradition, the yoga tradition, there is not a tradition of positive thinking. There is not a tradition of positive thinking. It is not something which is part of the yogic approach to life, view of life. But there is also not the opposite to that, which is negative thinking. There is also not negative thinking. So when we hear about these ideas of the nature of reality, this is not negative. This is just looking at life as it is. So, the whole focus in yoga wisdom is neither positive nor negative thinking, because both are parts of the material world. Both come from the material mind. So these are not helpful to me, the eternal Atma, the eternal self. They pertain to the mind and perhaps to the body only, but this does not actually touch or affect me. So what we are interested in pursuing the wisdom of yoga is transcendental thinking. This is different to material positive or material negative thinking. It is neither one nor the other. It is transcendental too. It is beyond the positive and negative thinking and the positive and negative experiences that we all have as we travel in this journey we call life. So birth, diseases, old age and death do not touch you. They have nothing to do with you. But it is due to the ignorance, what is known as nescience, avidya. Vidya means wisdom or knowledge. And when you place a in front of that, it means the opposite. A means not or no. So instead of being situated in wisdom, we are situated in avidya, the opposite of wisdom, ignorance. So we want to be situated on the platform of vidya, knowledge, spiritual knowledge. There's knowledge of the material world, and there's a certain amount of knowledge we need to gather to make our way in life on the material platform, on the material plane. We need to know what side of the road to drive on. We need to know how banks work and all those kind of things. So, but simultaneously with gathering the knowledge to make our way in the material life, we should simultaneously be gathering transcendental knowledge. Because transcendental wisdom actually shines a light on our path in this journey we call life. And it actually shines the light of wisdom. We can actually see things as they are. And we can conquer birth, diseases, old age and death through transcendental wisdom, through knowledge, spiritual knowledge, coming to know my true nature as the eternal spirit soul, only temporarily walking around in this carcass. And that's actually what it is. We think it's us, and we look in the mirror and we think, I am changing, I am getting older, I am getting fatter, I am getting skinnier. So many different things. I have a big nose, I am losing my hair, I have a muffin top, I have a six-pack. We identify with all these things that we see and experience with the body. But actually, all of these have nothing to do with me, the self. So to come onto the platform of wisdom, this is the goal of spiritual life. To know who I am, to know what my purpose in life is, to know where shelter, freedom from fear is. This is actually the study of wisdom. And it frees me. We'll read through these words of Krishna again, and keeping in mind that the ideas that we've just been discussing, you'll actually find there are things which now jump out at us, which we now see as being important and very encouraging. So I'll read them again and try to listen to what Krishna is saying and try to actually contemplate and apply, because it's not just enough to hear and contemplate, because the solution is found in applying what we hear, the wisdom that we hear. Being freed from attachment, fear and anger, being fully absorbed in me, taking refuge in me, many, many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attained transcendental love for me. If you become conscious of me, you will pass over all of the obstacles of conditioned life by my grace. If, however, you do not work in such consciousness, but act through false ego, not hearing me, you will be lost. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the Supreme Lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, such a person attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. For one who is so situated in divine consciousness, the threefold miseries of material existence exist no longer. In such a happy state, one's intelligence soon becomes steady. One who is not in transcendental consciousness can have neither a controlled mind nor steady intelligence, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without peace? In this endeavour, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. So we are all, not only all eternal spirit souls, we are eternal parts of the Supreme Soul. We have an eternal bond of kinship with the Supreme Soul. And when we are resituated in that loving, reciprocal, eternal, spiritual relationship, we are free from the miseries of material existence. This is the goal of yoga. This is the goal of life. And this is the goal of the practice of meditation. Specifically, the practice of meditation on transcendental sounds, either in the form of japa, or as we're doing with breath, or even silently, or as we're doing here tonight in the form of kirtan. This is how the heart and mind become purified and our consciousness becomes transcendental. So I'll finish off just by reading this nice idea from my spiritual teacher. He says, when you are united in love with the Supreme Soul, you will know true joy, perfect comfort, inner peace and security. In this condition you will feel there is nothing more to be gained, and thus you will be free from any material craving, hankering or fear. Transcendental love is the spiritual food that will truly satisfy you. So these names of the Supreme, these transcendental sounds, they are actually the incarnation of spiritual love and peace. So this, by immersing ourselves in these holy names, in these transcendental sounds, that is where we can experience our true nature, freedom from birth, diseases, old age and death, and be resituated in our original consciousness, in our original state, as the eternal Atma, the eternal part and parcel of Krishna, the Supreme Atma. So please take these beautiful names and please immerse your heart, immerse your life, immerse your mind, and have them as your companion as you travel through the ups and downs of material existence. And you will experience directly this reality which Krishna is speaking about. Thank you very much. What's that? Okay, so I'll pass them on later. much cushion in the chair that you'll stand up if you.
Just thinking, COVID's a great time for people who appreciate personal space. Stand by me.
Almost there. Sound all right out there? You can hear everything? Yeah, it's good. Not too loud.
Good to go?
Good to go.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare If any of you feel like standing up, you can.
No moshing.
Just stand up where you are. You can even stand on your chair if you want to. So you can be as tall as us. Yeah, just don't stand in front of the streaming camera.
Haribo,
Krishnadas for some...
They're bopping in the aisles. Bit of bebop. How are we doing for time? What is the time? Someone stole my phone. Yeah. How's the air? Opening up those doors. I don't know whether it's just up here. It feels a little stuffy. And don't forget, everybody, social distancing is actually what we're doing here. So that means everybody. Thank you very much. Proper social distancing.
There's plenty of seats at the front.
Yep, there's
1,
seats
2,
up
3,
here.
4,
Yep. 1, 2, lots.
5, 6,
Yep.
7. So yeah, guys at the back, come on up and
Okay, so we have to turn the PA up because we've got to drown out the guys at the back, right? more or? Yeah, can close that maybe now. You can either have that vibration or this vibration. It's part of our choices in life.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. A little bit of magic happened there. Thank you, everyone. These are our prayers to finish the evening. One should chant the holy names of the Lord in a humble state of mind, feeling oneself to be lower than the straw in the stream. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, ready to offer all respects to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy names of the Lord constantly. Namaste, Narashihaya, Hiranyakashi, Purvakshaya, Silatam, Kanakorane, Yutam Shriko, Varatam Shriko, Yator Toya, Nisatom Shriko, Mahir Shriko, Hirayin Shriko, Ashrin Namaste, Saninam Prabhupada, Kavakama Lavaredava, Amruta Shrika, Lalita Hiranyakashipu,
Namo Vishnu Padaya
Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale, Srimati Swarupananda, Paramahamsa Itinamani, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you, everybody. For those who are watching online, or even for those who are here, I can give those Bhagavad Gita verses, and they can be put up on the Facebook or even underneath the YouTube if people would like to have them. So I'll arrange to do that.
And hang around. We have some chai.
You do?
Keep your social distancing at all times. And remember, this is the exit. Unless your shoes are that way, then we're not going to make you go all the way around the block to get your shoes.
We may not, but other people may.
It's been very cool to have Kirtan with all of you here again. We've been hanging out for it, so thank you very much for coming and chanting with us. It's wonderful. We're going to, because we're only allowed 40 people in this hall, so
that's including the helpers and the band.
So yeah, the guys who set up actually went over to the park and had a kirtan, and so we're going to be, making more of them happen. It's just a little bit dicey outdoors because our weather is, it's the rainy season, so get a bit of rain. But that's the plan, is to have more outdoors as well as indoors. So yeah, keep your eyes on your emails, and the Facebook ASMY community group is also where we post all of the info. So please join our mailing list if you're not on already, or get in our Facebook group, and you can do that by messaging us, and we'll hook you up with all the inside information. Enjoy your chai, have a wonderful rest of your Sunday evening, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Namaste.